So a lot of truthers are questioning Ian Carroll now because he was caught wearing the red Kabbalah bracelet and the same bracelet Tucker Carlson wears and this and that. Now, here's what I think, okay? Number one, I really like I do like his content. He gives a lot of great content. Do I think that, he's revealing a lot of stuff that we kind of know already in a sense. However, I also will say, like, he's been on Joe Rogan, okay? I don't trust Joe Rogan at all. He has relationships with some pretty powerful people. He just did a thing about how he was talking to Candace Owen and this and that. Like, I don't have relationships with these types of people, and I probably never will because I'm not in the club. So, is he in the club? I don't really know. I don't know. I wouldn't base my opinion on a bracelet that he's wearing necessarily either, though, because I wear stuff, I wear chakra stones, and I wear the wand of Asclepius, but I wear it because I like the story. Asclepius was, he was a demigod basically, but he healed people. He helped people heal, and he taught people how to raise the Christ oil, turn it into a gas and raise it. He was healing people from all sorts of things, and then people started building big temples to him. And instead of using the temples to worship him and just, taking advantage of people, he actually used the temples and turned them into hospitals. And he did some amazing things. These are stories, but I like the story, and I like the idea of that. That's why I wear it. So just because you wear something doesn't mean anything, really. But I will say, when you're on big shows like Joe Rogan, stuff like that, then, use your head, Would I trust him? Do I trust some of the information he's giving? Yeah, because you can do your own research and learn it yourself. But, do I trust him? I don't really trust anyone. I try not to trust anyone because I don't know anyone at the end of the day. I don't. I know my family, and even that, you don't really know them. You never know a person that much. You only know what you think you know, so it's just kind of funny. You only know yourself, and you don't really even know yourself either. So what the hell do we know? Kind of nothing. That's why doing research is so much fun. But I will say, I don't have an opinion on him because whatever. But there it is. I love you all. If you want to learn more, I like to study the sky. I like to study religion, the Abrahamic religions, especially because the Abrahamic religions all came from out of India. Everything came from the Hindus, okay? Hinduism, all right? Even Abraham in the Bible, Abraham comes from Brahma, okay? Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the original holy trinity of the ancient world. Now we have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, but essentially it all comes from places. In Egypt, they had Isis, Osiris, and Horus. So when you learn where the symbolism comes from, it's interesting. There are Egyptian obelisks all over the world, and they brought in the Vatican. At the Vatican, that was an Egyptian obelisk that they brought into the Vatican. And when they brought it in, they actually had the Pope at the time do an exorcism, allegedly. This is what I've read on that, to bring Osiris, the spirit of Osiris, out. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. And when you learn the symbolism, it's interesting because they also have a giant obelisk in Washington, D.C., and it connects to the Oval Office. It does. Google map it. It goes directly across to the Oval Office. Why is that cool or interesting? Because you have the monolith, the obelisk, the monolith, the big giant massive penis, which is what it is, connecting to the Oval Office or the ovaries. It's a tribute to Isis, okay? Isis being the Oval Office and Osiris being the obelisk. Now, the story of Osiris is interesting because Osiris had a brother, Set. Isis is the wife of Osiris and the sister wife. They all did that back in the day. But Set was Osiris's brother, and Set kills Osiris and chops his body up in a bunch of pieces. Now, Isis goes around the whole world putting him back together, and when she puts him back together, she builds his entire body but can't find his penis. This is where the obelisk comes from. That is essentially Osiris's missing penis, okay? Now, even they have like the satanic square and all that, the magic square, whatever you want to call it. But if you look at the Washington monument, it's on a magic square. Same with the Vatican. Go pull up a picture of the Vatican, the obelisk in the middle. Not only is that a big sundial, but it's a tribute to Isis and Osiris. It's Osiris's missing penis. And look at the layout of the ground. It's the womb and the thing. It's always sexual symbolism. This stuff is super ancient. Learn about it. What people think, I feel bad and I'm terrified for Christians and Catholics because they're over here being led by the Pope, and the whole thing, the Christianity right now is, shit's not what it used to be, okay? And whatever you get, like, they are not worshiping Jesus, all right? The spirit of Jesus, that's not what they're worshiping. So when you go to that church and you say your amens and you do your big prayers, I know who you think you're thinking of, but that's not what they got you praying to. I'm sorry, it isn't. So the best thing you could do is educate yourself and honestly, run from the church as fast as humanly possible. Especially if you're giving them money. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. Start your own nonprofit. Save your money. Stop giving it to the church because they're not spending it on anything good, I promise you. And build your own nonprofit. That's what I'm currently doing right now. Cost a little bit of money. It takes some time, but it's doable. Anyone can do it. Open a nonprofit and start your own thing. Start your own charity. Start your own damn church. Don't give it to these criminals. That's what I say. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying. Because it's just the truth. We are being lied to. We are being massively, massively deceived by a bunch of satanic, Satan-worshipping psychopaths. Okay? And I know it's hard to believe, but it just is what it is. And it's sad, too, because it's all been set up. And when you get into even flat Earth, when you start realizing, like, shit, they lied about the globe. They lied. And it's obvious when you really start learning, but it's disappointing because most people first, they go right to Jesus, and it's like, I'm sorry, but that's also a lie. And it's not what you think it is. Nothing is what you think it is. Okay? I don't believe Jesus was the Son of God. He didn't die on a cross and was resurrected. That is an ancient tradition. That's the sun, that's not moving for 3 days. That's what the winter solstice is. That's why Christianity was able to basically convince all of the pagans, and pagan just means villager, but they were able to convince them to basically worship this god because they tied it into their pagan beliefs, into all their sun worship, into all their tracking of the sun and the movement of the sun. It's something you can actually visibly track. You still can to this day. So it's all been tied in. And then the Vatican has done a hell of a job just, oh man, it's just such a mess. The whole thing is a disaster. But I gotta tell you, the Vatican is an evil, corrupt, massive thing that owns a land everywhere and holdings and money and it just never ends. There are wealthy people that pass away giving all of their money to the church. Like, it's mind-boggling. It's sad, too, because, again, we just get taken advantage of left and right by everything. Government, churches, hospitals, the whole damn thing. Pharmaceutical companies, everything. It's all bullshit. If you want to learn more, go to my website. This is my opinion. I love you all.